Hi, everyone. It's Tess and I for Helsinki Fashion Week. And guess what, Tess? I was practicing how to say your name. Tess Van Zalinge.
Oh my God, that's completely correct. Emily Switzer, is
Thank
it?
you. Yes, you nailed it. I
You
never
can
had to say
find us both on Instagram.
yes. My Instagram name, though, is at Hard Grind Hard because I'm
Oh
a
yeah.
12-year-old boy secretly. So, I had to make a very inappropriate Instagram handle. I started out, but it's too late now. I'm stuck. I'm married to it. It's my brand. I have to go for it. So
How's it going in Canada?
it's beautiful here. It's a little stormy, but we're enjoying the full swing of summer safely and responsibly at a social distance of 2 meters apart from everyone. How's it in Deutschland
Oh, Deutschland?
or Amsterdam?
The Netherlands,
Oh my,
Amsterdam. Deutschland is like
I'm
that.
leaving. This is me going, leaving.
How long have we been chatting? Like this.
So that's bad.
Just stick to the Amsterdam. Deutschland is like the Germans.
Right,
That's
right.
across the border.
All
It's
just, for
no
me, it's all just a
nowhere
block.
near here. Yeah. No, here it's okay. It's almost the end of the day. Just had a live stream session with Evelyn. How did you experience your live session yesterday? It was right.
It was Monday. It
Okay.
was very good. I enjoyed it, though I ran out of things to talk about at the end. So in panic, I opened up the window for my render scene again because I was sort of just explaining what I had done in 3D for my video. And I
Mhm.
forgot to screen share while I was doing it. So the last 5 minutes are me just clicking around, being like, you can see here what I've done, yada, yada, yada. Look at that. And just, you can't see it. You just see my head talking for 5 minutes. So that's how that went. But the rest of it was really good. I think my friend said I did okay. My mom liked me, so I think it's fine. How about you? You've been
That's
doing non-stop streaming
yeah,
sessions.
but it's fun. It's fun. I've had Derek from YouTube on Monday. That was really interesting. Then yesterday, Marco from PTT, science guy, was
Cool.
super interesting though. Just an hour ago with Evelyn herself, and now you. And you became my bestie that I've never met before.
Very true. Yes, we're besties across the ocean. In pen pals. That's how you could describe us. But I'm so happy to have connected with you for this adventure in digital fashion. I think we couldn't have been paired with a better duo. Like, I'm so happy I teamed with you. I hope the same is with me, unless you think I suck. Just say it now. Just do it live.
No, no. I just talked about it with Evelyn actually. That I mentioned that, like, how did she make like the connection between digital and traditional? Because it's such um, for me, designing is like emotions, and it's very like close to my heart, and I like to do whatever I want. So collaborating with someone is most of the time for me more a personal decision with who I want to work and how I would like to work. And with us, it was I just complimented her on this sort of matchmaking thing that she did with us because it was super natural right from the beginning.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We just clicked. I think I won you over as soon as I was like, whatever we do, I don't care what it is, but it has to look amazing. You can do anything, but I will not sell garbage. It has to look good. And I think I won you over because I was just like, it has to, whatever it just has to look perfect. And you were like, okay, here is someone is maybe crazy as I am. So it's about finding that frequency with someone and making them feel like we connect, we have this vision, there's no compromise in quality, like we're going to make something that looks good. It doesn't, how it evolved, what it is exactly, that's the fun part to discover between the synthesization between two artists. But whatever the outcome is will be excellent and awesome because I don't think the two of us know how to settle. So I'm very excited for what we've done. And it was a pleasure working with you because yeah, you have such ambition and such like vision, which is good.
I love it. A vision.
Vision. Stand with your eyes. It's vision. But you have it. You have artistic vision, and that always helps lead the project along. Or it's always at a disadvantage when someone's like, I'll know it when I see it. I'll know what I want when I see it. And it's like, that's okay when you're sketching and you're doing it for yourself, but like, you kind of have to know where we're going in the end to get a great product. So you always knew where it had to go to get perfect. The details we never knew until we were sorting it all out.
But don't you think it's weird that someone based in Paris, originally from Finland, made a connection between us? And every time we had multiple Zoom meetings, right? That we were just talking through our design, developing, you explaining me explaining you, back and forth, hours. And every time I hang up, I said to my team, oh my God, she's so funny. It's so stupid. Like, that's super weird, right? That how did you, I'm curious, how did you end up participating on Helsinki Fashion Week? I think I already know a bit, but how did it go?
I ended up reaching out. I follow a group on Facebook for clothes designers, sort of a little online community, and I saw a post about Helsinki Fashion Week on the group where they were asking, are there 3D designers out there that would be interested in participating? And these are the requirements. Here's what we're looking for, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought, this is perfect. I'd be very interested in sort of connecting with sustainable and traditional designers because my background is in film and 3D. So all my networking here in Canada actually pertains to post-production and film and commercials, almost zero fashion connections. So it's pretty bizarre when you think about it because I work in 3D fashion now. But I was like, I should do this. This will be a great opportunity to connect with some traditional designers and sort of get my name out in the right field and to the right people that we could help each other. So I just emailed and the process was pretty much complete. They were like, yeah, you're in. Sounds good. I was like, oh, okay, sick. We were just like immediate agreement. They were like, oh, yeah, you're in. So in fact, they emailed me again at one point. I think they just forgot that, like, someone else emailed me being like, do you want to participate in Helsinki Fashion Week? And I was like, I think I already am. And they're like, oh,
I'm in, right?
Yeah, it really threw me through a loop. I thought I was being psyched out or gaslit. Like, oh, wait, I wasn't it? Like, so they were very nice and they let me in. What about you? How did you get involved with Helsinki Fashion Week? Maybe you've already answered this, but I'm going to ask anyway.
I got in contact with them last year because of a museum that I was going to present my newest collection. And actually, Evelyn is very in a close relation with people that are working there. And so she got to know my work via. And then it was a coincidence that she was in Amsterdam. So she said, like, hey, can I just visit? And I was like, yeah, of course. And then we started talking. And then she said, like, maybe you can present your couture collection from 2020 with us. And I said, yeah, okay, why not? Let's go international for the first time.
Heck yeah. Exciting.
And then it became, of course, the version that it is now. So yeah, I think from last year, October or something, we started talking already, and we met, and that's how it's gonna go. And then she called me like, okay, we already did the residency digital, but now we're gonna do a complete fashion week digital as well, and virtual 3D design. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Props to you in learning me so many weird stuff in the computer. I showed you sometimes my photoshopping skills. They aren't the best. I still use Paint though too. And
I did not know you used it. Oh my god. Strike that from the record. Can we'll delete that out of the video before it gets just use Paint for something.
So I'm super happy, but I think you have something prepared to share screen, right? What are we gonna do?
Okay, so we're gonna do a bit of a 3D challenge, 3D versus reality challenge, and we'll do
Okay.
it real quick. It won't take. Hopefully, it won't take too long. We'll see. It was just wanted to sort of demonstrate like as fabulous as 3D is, as incredible as it can be as a tool. There are certain limitations that almost seem ridiculous, considering how simple these things you're able to execute in real life compared to how complicated that process is in 3D. And our example task today is going to be tucking in a t-shirt. Is that
Okay.
cool? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Stand by. Here we go.
But I wanna. Okay, I have some garments here, so
Okay,
I can wait. This is unfair. She's already dressed.
dress. Well, you dress your mannequin. I'm gonna ask you a question. Go dress your mannequin, and then I'll ask you, and you'll answer while you're dressing.
I
Here's
have my earpods in, so I just have some super simple because I can't show the collection yet. So
no.
these are just fitting samples. Don't think that I this is my design.
Late.
Uh,
It's the final. So one of my questions to you, and I hope you haven't been asked this before, is um, how does your dog, Little Farmer, help you your day-to-day studio?
okay, for everyone who's listening, his name is not actually Little Farmer. He's called Teuntje, but it's too difficult for people that are not Dutch to pronounce. So we named him for Emily, Little Farmer. What was the question again?
How does he help you? How does Tejan help you in the studio?
Well, actually, he doesn't really help. He just sleeps a lot. He sometimes helps picking up yarn from the floor and then chews on it. That's really helpful. But most of the time, he's more helpful to get me out of my bubble, get me outside, because I can really, as a designer, lose myself in my work and just lock myself up and don't see any daylight. But that's what Teuntje does. He just helps me getting vitamin D, going outside, and
That's what a
that's
good
basically it.
creative director should do. He's
Yeah, right?
helps you focus up,
Oh,
refocus.
okay. So it's sort of dressed with a very basic t-shirt, long sleeve, pencil skirt. Okay, what's the challenge?
Okay, when we say go, when you're ready, we'll start the process of tucking in. Are you ready? Should we start?
Okay,
Okay.
yes. But did you do anything to cheat
No, here
before this? Okay.
my okay, here I'll show you. So this is my t-shirt. These are my patterns. So
Yeah.
this is a t-shirt and a simple pants here, and
Okay.
it can quickly hide that to show you this is what it looks like underneath the shirt. Pretty
Okay.
straightforward. And the pants are, as you can see, it is untucked.
Yeah.
And the pants and just the shirt. So everything's sort of sitting normally untucked. There's no secrets, there's no pins. If there's any Clo artists watching, they'll be able to confirm for me later. Independent investigation confirm.
Okay.
This is a straightforward pattern. As you can see, there's nothing else hiding. All right,
Yeah. Okay.
when you're ready, we'll do it. Ready?
Yes.
Set,
Right when you are.
go.
Okay.
God. Oh God. First step.
But for me, this is so easy. It's like almost
Okay.
like stealing from a kid.
Stealing from a kid? LOL. Candy from a baby? But I'm always so delighted by your Dutch turn of phrase. So first I'm gonna freeze the pants and then simulate. And as you can see, the simulation is like, what do you want from me? I don't understand. So we're gonna have to push the shirt in a little bit. All right, that's as good as she's gonna get.
Oh, I haven't seen this yet.
All right, so this is how we tuck in a shirt. As you can see, Tess has already completed her task, so like that's not even a challenge; it's a joke. But that's about as tucked in as it's probably going to get at this moment. And then what I have to do is I'm going to unfreeze the pants, and I'm going to change the layer to 1. The layer setting is telling the software what, like, again, layers of like how you want things to rest, like what goes on top of something else. So by changing the pants to layer 1, I'm telling the software this goes on top of the shirt. So now that it's set and the pants are, oh my God, okay, so now we're simulating. As you can see, they hated that. Ugh. And now my shirt's getting somewhat tucked. So step 2.
But this is also at the same time a little sneak peek, right, to everyone who's watching of what you have been doing basically for our design.
This is a very small and not even complex example of some of the things I've been doing in 3D, to complete the design. So one aspect of the design I won't reveal too much, but I'll just say involved tucking a shirt in.
Yeah.
As Tess asked for that, I shuddered and I was like, oh God, yeah, okay, we can do the shirt tucked in, but I'm here to tell you it's not as simple as you think. So also, as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm pulling the shirt down into the, and I've hidden the pants. I'm going to reinstate the pants. As you can see, now it is tucked in, changing this back to 0. However, if I were to resimulate this, it would not be a stable simulation. It would start to erupt because it's trying to, 2 physical objects are trying to occupy the same space at the same time, which you can't do in real world. And so I have to tell the software, listen, the pants go over the shirt. And this tool helps me dictate layer hierarchy. So I am telling it this goes on top of this piece of fabric. And now, and everything's still set now back to layer 0. When I simulate, you get a crazy error. Hold on, it's resolving. It's resolving. It's resolving. I have tucked in the t-shirt in a semi-stable simulation. I'll increase the particle distance, will help. And as you can hear, the fans have started screaming. And by giving it a more accurate simulation here. Oh no.
Really cool to finally see you like working on this.
There we go. So there you go. There's a semi-stable simulation you have to take in order to tuck in a t-shirt.
And if you now want to like make it a bit more, like get a bit more air in there, how does that work then? Is it just pulling?
Yeah, it's really like this digital draping. So you see that little hand I have? My little cursor turns into a hand and allows me to pull up and adjust, same as you would style, I imagine, a real shirt. But as you can see, it's bubbling here. And those are simulation errors I would eventually have to address. And there's a variety of techniques you can execute to sort of get a stable simulation, whether that's increasing a particle distance, which of course increases the mesh, the triangular mesh in a garment, making it more high res, more realistic. But of course that makes your file very heavy. So it's a payoff. You know, you have to decide what's worth it.
And is this one of the, are there more stuff or things like this that the digital world is still lacking? Because as you can see, I was like finished in a few seconds. But is there more like this? Because you mentioned to me once, like tucking in a t-shirt, like you do it in a split second, but in this 3D, it's so difficult. And I didn't even think about it, but are there more examples like this that it's really lacking?
Oh yeah, I mean, I wish things like, let's say, I'm sure there's easier ways to fold a t-shirt, but I think actually they've released a whole block, basically a pre-existing file that you can download folding a t-shirt. That's how complex it was. But things like tying a bow or something like that is a whole situation. Like whenever I see a scarf styled very nicely in Clo, I know that took a lot of work. I know that was a real big deal. Here, I'll show you even, like, let's try to tie a scarf around this dame. So here I've made a piece of fabric, Oh God, it's gonna be such a nightmare. Okay, I'm gonna try to angle this right. It's just gonna fall. Oh, I got it. Okay, so she has her little shawl.
Oh, nice.
Now I have to pull it, tie it. How do I tie it?
Just leave it like that. That's fashion.
Yeah, just gotta pin it. So things like really, simple tasks that I know are super easy in real life. Like,
Wow.
yeah, okay, hold on. I gotta do this. I know there's probably a Clo artist watching being like, oh, that's not how you would do that. There's a way simpler, It's okay. There's a million ways to do things in 3D. No one has the definitive answer, just the easy answer. So hold on. Okay, so now I've gotten rid of my lady to help me see. And now I'm trying to tie it down.
Feels like a game.
Yeah. Oh, my simulation broke. It wouldn't even let me do it. All right. I'm just going to pause this. Hey, there's something like that, like tying things can be a real hassle and a time and a half to take, or, the corset that we had to make. Oh, I shouldn't say anything about our secret.
No, our design is still a secret, but there's a corset.
Corset involved at one point, and there's some lacing, and lacing can be a real challenge in 3D. That's particularly challenging. Mostly the little threads, trying to make them get through the holes. Like it's limited in that we have to still like follow reality a bit to drape and get things placed correctly. Where I wish it was almost like a control function, like a command, like put thread through this hole, like select this hole, select this thread, this end of the thread, and it should go through this hole, and then this end of the thread should go through that hole, and it should be or it should be a different shape, like it should be a library you can select. Or posing can be a real pain in Clo. Most people honestly working in Clo, they will do their avatars and posing in DAZ 3D. Because the skeleton in Clo can be a little simplistic. So I'll show you, this is her skeleton, and it only has way less bones than a real lady. So, we're limited in the posing of it. But a way around that is to just implement different 3D programs to get a very nice pose. Especially hands can be quite tricky. Gloves are no.
But we found a way, right, with that particular subject about gloves and fingers and position of the hands. We worked around it.
We found a way around it. There was some challenges with her fingers poking through.
Yeah, but still, that little detail, that's so funny how we came up with that. Like you mentioned to me, like, okay, Tess, this is really nice what you designed, but a pain in the ass for me to actually simulate or to make or to recreate. And that's actually because her fingers are always positioned a bit like this, right?
Really wide.
And then, but what is the problem for or what's the difficult part about the gloves?
So the part that really screws up a lot of designers, 3D designers, certainly it messes me up, is the fabric is trying to get the fabric to be on these, our fingers are very tiny in 3D world, and trying to get the fabric to recognize this small piece, this limb, or this piece of the limb, this digit, individually, without going through the fabric itself, means you automatically have to put the fabric at a very high particle distance to make it dense and realistic, so that it won't just pass through the finger. So if why don't I just show you by doing a quick start sharing. So here is Our Lady. And if I put a piece of fabric right here, and I'll put some pins so it doesn't fall down. This right now is at 20 particle distance. So pretty, and you can see it's crunchy. It's not like, it doesn't look quite as nice as a real piece of fabric would. So when I bring that closer to the hand, let's see what happens when I sim. So you see how the fingers can pass right through it.
Yeah.
So a way to avoid that, pretty much the only way to avoid that, is I really got to push the particle distance. So let's make it very dense. Put it to 8. Now when I simulate it, it's a lot more, you can see it doesn't want to go through.
Yeah.
Because you're telling the computer, well, this is a very dense piece of, it's understanding it as a more high-res piece of geo. And as you can see, now it won't pass through. However, that means you have to work on this glove with a very dense mesh, which makes it a very heavy file. And fingers still can poke through. That's another thing. And getting them to recognize the individual digits and not having the fabric not stick to itself, even though that's not the fabric property setting, it can still easily stick to itself. As you can see here, it's kind of just.
But actually, for me, making a pair of gloves is also like so. There's so many pieces involved.
I like that. It's funny, like that is something actually that 3D and real life do echo each other. That it is not terribly simple to just make a nice fitting glove in real life. Like it takes time and there's a lot of little pieces to it. Same in 3D.
Yeah.
It takes time and there's a lot of little pieces. And if you want it to look really good, it takes a lot to get it looking really nice. It's not impossible. I won't say it's impossible. It's certainly possible. It's just a pain in the butt to make it happen. Tess, I actually have a few more questions for you, if that's okay.
Oh,
I wanted to ask
okay, shoot.
that I hope no one else had asked. I was trying to think of more interesting questions because I know you've done so many streams already. So here's a question. Who on your team do you want to dress up the most? And how would you dress them up if you could dress them up for anything, any occasion?
Who of my team here in the atelier?
Give a makeover to a dress makeover.
I think it's gonna be. Ooh, I hope no one is watching. Rit? I think it's Rit. I think you met her, right? The one with the harness. She's wearing a harness.
It was very scary look that day, yeah.
She's actually been working with me already for 2 years now, and why her is because she every day she puts so much effort in how she looks and her makeup, and it looks every day as a complete different kid walking in the atelier, and I love her for that. She's really talented designer herself, and actually I'm just very curious how the couture look, for instance, that we created will fit on her. But maybe I noticed that, who was it? Was it Gucci that photographed all their looks on team members and just launched digitally? Was really awesome. I was right away like, okay, team members, line up and get dressed. I love it.
Campaign. I thought that's such a great idea, and what also it made it very relatable because these people look like people I know, not like models are people too, obviously, but I'm less likely to see models walking down the street versus these people, which looked still very beautiful and elegant in their clothes and like, but they were more relatable. How can I say it? They had a more relatable element to them, and it made me want those clothes even more somehow. Because I already want Gucci all the time. So.
And to be honest, in the atelier, we sometimes do dress up because I am sort of collecting, of course, old wedding dresses and old vintage pieces. So I have piles and piles and piles of waste and old garments that are not going to be used. So sometimes we do a dress up with the whole team, and that's really nice. but that's of course before I design anything with it. So I would pick Rut. So hopefully she's up for it.
Sorry, if you're listening, you're up. You're up. Your number's up. You got to get a makeover from Tess. Okay, here's another question for you. Is there a material that you want to work with that wouldn't really be possible in the real world? So let's say, like, I was saying this before my other stream. The joy of 3D is that you can juxtapose different, let's say, for example, so many different things, but one of my favorite things is juxtaposing textures with objects that don't match. So I can make cloth look like cement, look like wood. It'll even act like cloth, but it'll look like wood. Where in the real world, if something looks like wood, it probably is wood, and it's going to behave like wood. And so it's a little more difficult to execute that same effect that you're looking for. Yeah. So I was wondering if there's a material that you're like, oh, it'd be so cool to make a dress out of something, but it'd be such a pain to do it, that maybe you could think of.
I think it's not a pain, but it's just not really practical. Like, I really like folding and origami techniques, and so yeah, of course you can create, I think, a dress out of paper, but the only thing is that it won't last. It will rip really easily, it will break really easily, and it won't, like, if you're walking here in the Netherlands with a lot of rain, it won't hold. So we're every time we're trying to work around the folding techniques and include them into the garments, but it's always a combination of loads of coatings and weird materials that we're like building up to create that folding technique. But I would want to make something in more paper or carton or thick paper that you can create super sharp origami stuff.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it would be very cool. Yeah, definitely something you can achieve in 3D is a paper effect on the whole. The whole look could be paper.
I think in real life we can also do it, but then it becomes more an object than a garment. And I think that's most of the time the challenge, that if you think outside of the box or create something with not so traditional materials, then the next thing is, of course, that you can't really wear it, and then it becomes more a museum piece or whatever. It's also fine, art, of course.
Yeah, almost like
but in the end, you want to wear it, or you want to do something with it. Yeah.
I think that's a great answer, and I think that's actually a really cool way that 3D and fashion can help you bridge that vision and see it a reality in one form, if not in the real world, but it can certainly be manifested in the digital world to help bring that vision of seeing like an entire origami collection, not a fake one, but an actual real garments textured to look like real paper. That's if I only, can it happen in the real world? Maybe not yet, but at least this is like a cool visualization of something had always in your mind, or an interesting sort of concept that you can finally see realized. And I hope that's like what 3D is there to do. It's to help sort of break the limits on what you can do. Like, that's why I love digital fashion shows that aren't recreations of a real life fashion show, that it's not just a person walking down the runway wearing digital clothes. It's like, why? You can do that in real life. Let's put her on the moon. Why not? Let's have clothing float in space. Have clothing in the middle of under the ocean. Go anywhere you want to. So why wear chains anymore? You're free. Do it. So here's another question for you.
Oh, okay.
Would you ever 3D scan yourself to dress yourself in 3D, and would you ever walk a runway in 3D? Actually, let's ask you that. Would you ever walk a runway show real life? Because I think you could. You look great.
I've done it before because it was we needed to, because it was in the second year of the fashion school when I was studying. I hated it. I really hated it. I've never felt so uncomfortable in my life. No, I wouldn't want to do it, but maybe in the virtual world, why not?
Why not? That's what I say. Why not?
I do think that's also something that sometimes worries me, is that in the virtual world and the 3D world, digital world, whatever you want to call it, there's I don't feel really emotionally attached. And that's something I also discussed with Marco actually yesterday. And so that's maybe like, you have to drag me up the catwalk to get me now walk one or do something. But virtually, like, I don't care. Why not? Let's do it. So it has its positive things, but also like it's still not apparently connecting to me in as a person. So it doesn't feel really connected. It's not really answering your question, but it's something I just wanted to share.
I wanted to share how you think I stink and everything I do is totally, no, I'm joking. No, I'm actually really glad you brought up that point, because I think that it's indicative of this new budding industry. Kind of like we're in the infancy of seeing fashion and 3D crossover and create this whole new hybrid industry, 3D fashion. And that is one of the limitations that we're facing now. Like, how do we get people to connect? How do we make it feel real, give them the emotional experience that a fashion show or a campaign video would evoke? And I don't know what
that was also our aim when we said, like, okay, we're gonna create this co-creative look. We want to touch at least someone's emotions.
Someone's emotions.
I want to cry myself if I see it. Like, that was our goal, right, with our look.
You certainly made me cry, during this look creation. But no, I agree. Actually, our dress, I hope, has a highly emotional response to the viewership, and I want people to react to it viscerally in the same way that maybe they see it in real life. And sometimes that can be really hard to translate in 3D, a bigger, larger than life garment. How do I present it? And that all comes down, I think, to a lot of skills that are still being developed by 3D designers. I'm lucky enough, again, to come from a background of film. So I'm often thinking in terms of not just the final asset, but like, how am I going to present this to the world? What do I need to make this, to sell this dress? Is it like the render needs to look beautiful? What's the lighting? What's the editing going to look like? Camera movement, all these important things that you have to consider when creating the final deliverable, let's say, be it an image or a video of these garments, so that you can push it forward and sell it to what these, to people who may look at that and think, oh, wow, somebody sewed that. That's really cool. And then it's like, psych, it's a 3D render. Oh, shit. That's always my favorite part when I show someone something. They're like, wow, you photographed that? I was like, oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop.
I don't even correct that. Like, I'm a photographer. No. It's like, no, it's a render. And how you achieve that is like through thinking about the overall container to sell. How do you sell it to someone? And I think things like lighting, avatar, texturing, shots, certain like camera shots, composition of the shots, all these things play into selling the garment on a visceral, emotional level. That's where I find my interests going to. Okay, I think I have one more fun question for you. Hold on, let me.
Wow, you prepared yourself. Very professional. Who are you? Are you the same person?
This is not how I am on our calls at all. I'm usually there's a lot more like, what's happening? Someone's usually knocking at my door. I think there's always a delivery earlier today, so I'm glad we missed it. Oh, you know what? That was my last question. You know what? I got a question on the fly though. Do you think we could dress up little Farmer in 3D? Like, would you ever make like a dress for your dog at your
Never.
Why? How dare you? It's your brand. You need to dress that.
I think I would design a leash. That's the far as I could
Well,
go. Like, or something that we created from our co-creative look from the chin up. You know what I'm talking
I know
about.
what you're
We,
talking about.
we can put that, like that's something I'm open to discuss, but I'm not really a person that dresses up my dog.
There.
But
Okay.
um
You're really cutting me up inside by saying that. That's okay. I need you to digitally scan your dog so that I can dress him up in 3D.
okay, well that's fine.
Okay.
And he can walk the catwalk.
Oh,
That's
honey. Yeah, he can storm the catwalk. That's what you meant to say. He can storm it. He's such a treasure. I love that dog.
treasure. Okay, I think we need to round up because the little man in our ear said,
Yes.
"You're done. You need to get off the air." Like,
He's actually yelling at me. He's like, "Please shut up. You're done. Like, stop." Everyone,
actually screaming. Okay. Thank you so much, Emily, for doing this with me. But I think we're not done yet. We still. I think our goal is to keep collaborating, right? Or is it just me?
I'm not done with you yet.
Okay.
We have things to do. Yes, we're busy. We're busy. Where do you think you're going? Yeah,
We
we
this
collaborative.
2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version, and we will definitely thank you, everyone who was involved with this matchmaking thingy.
It was
Um,
made in heaven.
really nice. Okay, now we have to wave, and then a little man in our ear gets us off the air. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.